Barbie, please, I just want to go home.
Did you just talk?
Uh-oh, surprised by another creature's ability to talk. You know what that means? Oh! I missed that joke. So some antics happen and the gang is all together now. Whoopee.
Do not be fooled by their cuteness!
On the one hand, it is refreshing to see someone in this movie who hates the Smurfs as much as we do. On the other hand, we know by the law of kids' movies that that's not going to last. Gargamel successfully extracts the magical essence from her hair, and then we cut right back to the apartment. I guess a short breath of fresh air is still a breath of fresh air. Good gravy! Do they know any other songs? Be careful what you wish for, Husky. That's all I'm going to say. So apparently these things are from Belgium and bring good luck or something.
From Belgium, also known as Stromfs.
Yeah. Ahem, it's pronounced Strumpf. Thank you very much. You would know that.
Okay, to review. You guys come from a magic forest where you live in oversized mushrooms.
Yes.
You're being chased by an evil wizard, and you're trapped in New York until there's a blue moon.
Very good.
And you like to use the extremely imprecise term Smurf for just about everything.
Smurf Zuckley.
Okay, after a line like that, why did anyone still think this was a good idea?
Whoa! Just what is this magic searching device?
Right now I'm using Google.
Ooh.
Google. Laugh! Laugh! I think I'm beginning to understand the reasoning behind this project now. Someone thought it would be funny to pit this ridiculous idea that was so successful in its heyday against the more cynical attitudes and standards of today. All well and good, it's not the first time this has been attempted, but in most cases where this was done successfully, it was because they only did it for a few minutes before moving on to something else, not devoting the whole movie to it. Anyway, in order to get them all home, Papa Smurf needs to make a magic potion to make the moon actually turn blue so that the portal will open again. But the stars need to be aligned just right. And to check when that's going to happen, he needs something called a stargazer. Unfortunately, the stupid humans don't know what a friggin' telescope is. And, some cultural commentary about cell phones and Bluetooths, and this scene isn't really funny until Crazy Man shows up.
By any chance, have you seen any little blue men?
They're everywhere!
I like him. And we're back to the apartment. You know, I'm really beginning to believe that the purpose of these short Gargamel scenes are just to keep the horrible parts of this movie from actually killing its audience. This is the sort of practice used by the ancient Romans to increase the effectiveness of their torture devices. Before the body would go into shock or expire, the Roman guards would often give their victims some kind of crude painkiller. Not because they wanted to ease their pain any, but just because they wanted their victims conscious enough to feel more later. You're sick, movie! Sick! Apparently they're running low on Smurf berries, essentially their food supply, but don't worry, it never gets brought up again. Well, gets mentioned once, but nothing really ever becomes of it.
Why are you wearing a leash?
It's a tie.
Does it keep your neck warm?
No,
Clearly it functions as a...
And look, more witty cultural commentary. This isn't annoying at all.
You're lying!
I'm 546 years old.
Of course you are.
Best part of the whole movie right there. It's such a shame we'll have to start hating your guts too once you stop hating the Smurfs.
Our world doesn't do well with visitors from other places.
And that's true, actually. As we all know, this wouldn't be much of a kids' movie if the Smurfs did as they were told. And in spite of the fact that Patrick had no idea what a stargazer even meant, Brainy Smurf concludes that he must have had one where he works. Why? 'Cause he's smart, apparently. But in a stroke of actual competence, Papa Smurf tells Clumsy to stay behind.
No, Smurf and I on the mushroom.
Wow, our super form rocks. Otherwise all this Smurf talk would have made me gore a school bus full of nuns. Babies. They hitch a ride on Patrick's taxi, and eventually this happens. That irritating enough for you? Well, how about this?
I need to hone my message here.
Ooh, I've got a message. Always chew with your mouth closed.
Dance and be happy.
How about grab life by the grapes?
Turn that frown upside down.
Always bet on blue.
Have a Smurfy day.
I kissed a Smurf and I liked it.
Ah, now a pop culture reference. This is a good movie after all. And then another actually funny clip of Gargamel to keep the numbness from setting in. Oh, how freaking kind of them.
Very sweet, but, you know, I'm not so sure this stuff's gonna grow out here.
We'll see. Smurfs have a very blue thumb.
Oh, for the love of... This movie wouldn't even be so bad if every single sentence of the Smurfs' dialogue wasn't riddled with puns about them being either blue or Smurfs. And they're trying really hard to make this blue idiot sympathetic, but they're really just making him pathetic. Ah, look here. Another subplot which will be introduced and offers zero payoff later on in the movie. Gargamel tracks Patrick by his business card to his workplace and overhears Odile talking about some new anti-aging cream. He, being an actual wizard, is not impressed and shows off what real magic can do. Well, I can see where the PG rating came from. Then they build up this whole thing about Gargamel's alliance with evil cosmetics lady, and you know what it builds up to?
Oh, thank the gods, a chamber pot.
That. Freaking that and nothing else. Oh, and we're back again! I'm beginning to notice a pattern with a lot of the movies that I review. They'll often have a cast full of characters that people know and love for whatever reason. They'll get separated and the movie's still going to try to develop them all anyway. This usually makes the movie feel choppy and disjointed. The Avengers had the right strategy, giving whole movies to develop each of the characters and not having to do it all in the same movie. Well, all the important characters anyway.
Nobody's just one thing. You can be anything you want to be.
Ah, message! This is the message. Message! Message! Sorry. And the Smurfs over with Patrick are just wasting time and being annoying. Patrick calls Grace to take them home, but when she tries, they find a freaking telescope and jump into traffic and all die. The end. A quick scene of Patrick beginning to learn his life lesson and...
Honey.
Patrick, I need you.
Responsible man! Patrick bumps into Gargamel, and a wacky and overly drawn-out chase scene happens, complete with the Smurfs being mistaken for toys by a greedy and materialistic public, and lo and behold, they acquire Smurf-sized, fully functional Stargazer. And Gargamel gets hit with a taser, and the audience is ready to suffer again. So Papa Smurf starts making his calculations, while Patrick starts humming that stupid song. Then Smurfette explains her backstory. No reason, no consequence, just cuz. So Patrick decides to play things safe and sends... You know what? I really don't care about Patrick's problems, and I'm willing to wager that you don't either. So from now on, whenever they appear in the movie, I'm just going to skip over them. What I am going to talk about is the reason why Husky should have been more careful what he wished for earlier in the review. Wait, what?
Whoa! Oh, just match the colors with the buttons. Wow!
In the whole Smurfing world, and I can't believe she's looking at
Me! It's a complete surrender to the power of her.
La 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 la.
Stop it! Stop it, you soulless, money-flaunting, sound-defacing... Husky and I don't like this scene very much. So more of Patrick's life happens and I don't care, clumsy is plot inconvenient and I still don't care, and then Papa Smurf gives the unfortunate news that the movie is not going to end anytime soon. Then they talk about the other Smurfs, Chef, Hefty, and passive-aggressive Smurf.
Passive-aggressive Smurf.
Put them all together and you have a three-dimensional character. A quick Lord of the Rings reference from Gargamel over here, and then Papa and Patrick have a heart-to-heart about family and fatherhood or some crap like that. Next! So instead of bringing eagles like Gargamel asked it to, the moth brought back... flies.
Fly! Fly! Not with lots of flies!
I get it! So he escapes, and... the Smurfs apparently redecorate their house. Then something about that billboard and things no one cares about remind Patrick that he hates the Smurfs. Yay! And he cusses them out in Smurfese. Double yay! So let me guess, we get a few seconds of Gargamel, and then I thought so. Yeah, his life sucks, but he's learning the true meaning of Christmas. Move on. And we have a movie poster! So they smurf their way into plot. Don't you start. Sorry, let go. So they make their way into an antique bookstore hoping to find a spell book of some kind, when all the meta planets align and they come across the original comic collection that made the Smurfs famous. However, crazy guy from before tells Gargamel that he saw the Smurfs go into the bookstore.
You know, that song is really annoying.
Cautiously excited.
Better than this movie deserves. Amen.
Open that like a gun.
It's Alohomora. Anyway, Gargamel upgrades his arsenal with a dragon wand, and then it's...
To the door! Smurfing team!
Time to ruin Gargamel's moments of awesome with more Smurflish. So the Smurfs escape, all except for Papa Smurf. Why does he stay behind when he could have easily gone out with the other Smurfs into the pipe and out of Gargamel's clutches? Because drama. Leaf, we got 20 minutes left of this movie. We need to wrap up this review pronto! I couldn't agree with you more. The Smurfs regroup by riding on pigeons. I still don't care about his life. They psych themselves up to rescue Papa Smurf. Gargamel soups up his wand with Papa Smurf's super ultra special essence. They play a freaking AC/DC song in a Smurfs movie, break into the castle. Brainy uses the spell Papa Smurf found in the book to turn the moon blue and create a portal back home. He goes back for reinforcements. They turn their stupid theme song into a stupid war chant, throw eggs and ping pong balls at Gargamel for a while, have a few more Home Alone style pranks happen. Smurfette makes Azrael choke on a screw. Gargamel finally shows a little competence. Smurfette throws more sharp steel at the cat. Gargamel whips up some trouble for the Smurfs. Patrick decides to do something now. Clumsy stumbles into a very obvious climax. Gargamel gets blasted into a pile of packing peanuts. The day is saved. I still don't care. The end! Don't watch this movie. Words cannot describe how much I hate this movie, and yet it made enough to merit a sequel in 2013 with an even higher budget than before. I implore you all to boycott this movie and any others in the same line. We all know why they made it. It wasn't to tell a compelling story, even on a kid level. It wasn't even to be entertaining. At the end of the day, the only reason a movie this bad comes into existence is to cash in on a franchise that should have died a long time ago. The strong performance of Neil Patrick Harris and the unwavering dedication of Hank Azaria did nothing to alleviate the horrible Smurf dialogue, which was bad enough even before you include the Smurf puns, all the little subplots which went nowhere, the blatantly exploitive pop culture references, and the overall fact that this movie makes me want to burn everything blue I see.
Hey, Leaf, I got your next movie for you. It's called Something Buddies, Yeah, I'll come back later.
I really do. I hate everyone. I hate them like a poo.
Like a really big poo.
I hate everyone.
That's you.
And everything they do.
I hate your guts.
I hate everyone and you.
Everybody! This flick was putrid. My brain has a scar. Some flicks are bad, but this one took it too far. I've lost a part of me that never replaces. And just for that, I'm gonna eat your faces.
I hate everyone. I really do.
Hate you. Hate you. Hate you. Hate you. Hate you. Really hate you. You. Face. I hate everyone. Absolutely everyone.
Leaf blower thief!